Eva here, Dietitian and Science Ambassador for the Tetragin team, and today I'll be discussing how in today's day and age, when we have so much information at our fingertips about almost anything that we want to know, we still somehow manage to end up with the global obesity epidemic. We all know diet and exercise are important when it comes to weight loss and staying healthy, so why don't we just eat healthy and exercise regularly? Turns out it's not that simple, and we are all human. Right now, we actually have 1.9 billion cases of obesity worldwide, and compared to 40, 50, 60 years ago, those cases were much less. So an important question to ask ourselves is, where did we go wrong? Over the past few decades, there's actually been a major shift in the way that the entire world drinks, eats and moves, and that's clashed with our biology and created these major changes in our body composition, and that's why we have so many cases of obesity at the moment. So in today's video, I'll briefly discuss some factors that contributed to the obesity epidemic, which will include oils, sweeteners, animal source food, plant source food, and also globalization. So let's look at some changes in the food supply. In the 1950s and 60s, in the US and Japan, there was new technology that was developed to very cheaply remove oils from soy and corn. And because of this, more of the oils were added to food. And then between 1985 and 2010, intake of oil actually increased 3 to 6 times. And fun fact, oil or any fat has twice as much calories, so energy, as protein and carbohydrates. So if you're trying to lose weight, that's why low-fat products are recommended, because for the same volume, if you eat fat, you get twice the amount of calories as if you eat the carbohydrates or the protein. So low fat for trying to lose weight. Sweeteners. Our diet is much sweeter now than it was before. Sweeteners are added like sucrose and fructose corn syrup to cakes, pastries, biscuits. It's even added to drinks like sweetened coffees or milkshakes, and you're just drinking empty calories. There's very little nutritional value in sweeteners, and if you're drinking or eating empty calories, that's going to contribute to weight gain. Now, the increased consumption of animal-based foods can have both positive and negative effects. For example, in developing countries, a few extra grams of animal protein can be a good thing. It can improve the person's nutritional profile of the diet. However, in most cases in developed countries, we have too much animal-based food, which can lead to actually increased mortality and too much saturated fat. And in some countries as well, their animals are given steroids and hormones to make them grow faster, so then there's more profit for the meat industry. And as well as that, a lot of the time the animals are given antibiotics, and what a lot of people don't think about is then when we eat that meat that contains the antibiotics, our bodies kind of get used to the antibiotics. So then if we get sick and we need antibiotics, our body can become a little bit immune to that treatment, so the antibiotics aren't effective. So this creates an antibiotic resistance problem. So that's definitely something to think about. And if you're buying meat or any meat or animal-based products, just know where it's coming from. Now, unfortunately, there's been a decrease in the consumption of plant-based foods. So that's your whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. And they're really beneficial. All those plant-based foods are really beneficial to get your fiber in and your micronutrients. And that's essential for weight loss and to feed your gut bacteria and to maintain gut health. Now, to put the icing on the cake, as we say, we have globalization. So this is kind of amazing because we can now market and distribute food all around the world, but of course it has its downsides. So one of the downsides is supermarkets. So the small local ones are being replaced with larger chains like Tesco, Carrefour and Walmart, for example. And it can be good because food is always available to us and it's usually affordable, but the downside is that a lot of the time it's very processed. It has a lot of saturated fat added, a lot of salt and sugar as well. So all of the processed foods can unfortunately contribute to obesity, inflammation, and in a lot of cases leptin resistance, which I talked about in the previous video. So what can we do? We need to reverse and we need to prevent the obesity epidemic. So Anything that we can't maintain long term, we should avoid. And an example of this would be an extreme diet. So extreme diets work short term because you restrict a lot of the foods that you usually eat, and then you lose a lot of the weight quickly. But then what happens is this isn't maintainable long term, and then you go back to old habits, and then the weight goes back up to where you started, sometimes even more. And then, then you feel bad, and then you go on another diet or find another supplement, and then you lose the weight again, and then the same thing happens, it's not maintainable, and then it comes back up. So this is a never-ending cycle, and this is called yo-yo dieting, and it's something that we should avoid at all costs. Now, just a side note on the supplements, in the US alone, the weight loss industry is worth billions of dollars. So there's a lot of profit involved. So I'd recommend before you buy any supplement or product to help you lose weight, do your research, make sure it will actually benefit you long term, make sure it's legit, because there's a lot of products out there and they're not all created equally. So what else can we do? We can use a holistic approach to aim to be healthy. And if we aim to be healthy, then the weight loss usually follows, as well as better sleep, better mood, improved energy, better skin. So overall health is better than just looking at the scales, just weight loss alone. So what you can do right now is you can check out our Tetragen 12-week healthy weight loss guide in the link below. It's really helped a lot of our previous customers. It's very easy to follow. And if you decide to try out the Tetragen supplements, remember to use them in conjunction with a healthy diet, and know that it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for the process of the reversal of leptin resistance. In the next video, I'll be talking about what you can do to improve your health. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.